It's my industrial-sized hairdryer, and I can't live without it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. Folks, lots of people just unlocked Executor last night, and all I have to say is stop it. Stop it right now. You're making me fall to like number 10 in Fleet Arena. I know that sounds entitled because it is, but we're facing a strange situation that we haven't really had to face for a very long time in Galaxy of Heroes. I'm not really used to it. I don't know how I feel about it. Before we get into it, guys, and we're going to talk about Relic 9 and what's going to happen with that and stuff. Before we get into that, though, just a reminder, please, if you want to support the channel for free, I would really appreciate a like or a comment in the comments below. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Really, really helps the channel, folks. And it's free. It's totally free. You can just ignore the heck out of me after you hit the subscribe button. I promise. You don't even have to ding the bell if you don't want to. If you want to, feel free. I don't know if I've ever pushed that button, so I'm not gonna ask you guys to. That being said, folks, everyone, it seems, is going to have Executor soon, and that doesn't solve any problems, actually. No problems solved whatsoever. You can see this is my fleet shard, an older fleet shard, but you can see, look at all these. I mean, it's probably not as crazy as some of your guys' fleet shards. Like now we have Kenobi. Oh, look at that. We have an Executor up here for some reason. Who knows? The guys just isn't very motivated or something. But we've got Executor going on. Here, let's just have a battle in the background, shall we? I'll just turn it on auto. That'll be cool. We don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't care because I don't care. That being said, folks, I don't know what's gonna happen to us with this, because if it all depends on a coin flip. Right now, it depends on a coin flip. And it's a little bit frustrating, actually. I don't necessarily love the idea of sometimes you go into the fight, and if you don't get to go first because your speed is all completely the same, so it's randomized 50-50 that you go first versus them. If you don't go first, then you have a pretty good chance of losing. If you do go first, then you have a good chance of winning, and it's not ideal. Obviously, we've all faced this situation in the past with negotiator fleets, but we always had an off-meta team with Malevolence that we could use to kind of balance that out. And before them, the only time we've really had this situation occur to us as a community has been when we had the Millennium Falcon fleet meta, which even then, like, you could beat it with other fleets. It was just a little trickier, and the Falcon wasn't that tough to unlock, frankly. Like, you had to farm all the ships and stuff, but you could get it pretty quick. This age of having to get Relic 8s on all these different characters, Piet and Boba and a bunch of worthless bounty hunters needing them, etc., is it makes me a tiny bit sad. Oh, did we win this? That's fancy. But it's like, I don't know. What can we do about that? Like, until CG releases an A-Wing, which, I mean, I guess that could be what the thumbnail's about. That's not what it was. But, we could get an A-Wing that crashes into the bridge of Executor and have the Rebels be like kind of an off-meta counter. Or we're just going to be stuck with, like, eventually everyone's going to have a Relic 8 Piet, and they're all going to have 6E mods, or I guess maybe this is their way to push 7E mods into relevance, because people are going to spend money on that, just to make sure they have fleet superiority. People are going to spend money one way or another to get fleet superiority, and, in order, for those of you who don't understand how ship speed works right now, let me just show you. Okay, this guy has a max Piet. I know that. So he has Relic 8. That bears on your speed. They have obviously a 7-star Executor, and then if you click on the character, as long as their mods are 6E, these are all 6B, but it doesn't matter. It increases their GP just a little bit, but it does, their ship's power, whatever. But it doesn't actually add to stats. As long as they're 6E or higher, they have the exact same speed boost from mods. And so once we get to 7E mods, the speculation, of course, is that that's going to increase the speed of the ship, as well as Relic 9. And if you wanted to know who my speculation is, who we're going to Relic 9 first, it's this guy. It's Piet. At least if you have Executor, because he is going to, at Relic 9, presumably give Executor more speed, and you need to go first if you're Executor. If you have Executor, you have to. And if you don't go first, then you're kind of screwed. Your opponent has a huge advantage over you. So you're going to need Relic 9 on Executor, on Piet, which is kind of frustrating, frankly. I mean, here's the thing, folks. Piet, I was fine with him at Relic 5. They required him for, the Sith Eternal unlock, and that, Sith Eternal, he's, tangentially related to Piet, whatever. Even though he was a new release, it was fairly expected. It's fine. And now he's the ship captain, and we want him to be fast, so why not Relic 8? We were gonna Relic 8 him anyways. And if before people say it doesn't matter, just watch, the high-end guilds just basically made it a requirement to get Relic 8 on their Kenobi, General Kenobi, because the negotiator speed was so ultimately important, so incredibly important. And we're facing that again with Executor, but we don't have a good counter for it this time. People are two-shotting the Executor, and that's it. That's what the new meta is going to be for a little bit, unless, like I said, we get an A-Wing to wreck this fleet. But there's another solution to all of this, and here, why don't we get a little bit of B-reel footage just going in the background, so you guys don't have to just stare at me. I mean, you can stare at me if you want, of course, but we'll do my Executor unlock missions. How about that? So, anyways, we're facing this interesting situation here where our ships. The miserable part is if we have equal speed, it's not a guaranteed win, right? So our fleet could, you win about 2/3 of the time you go in if you have equal speed with Executor, and if you go in with less speed, you're gonna win. I don't know. You could probably win about 2/3 of the time, half of the time, something like that. Just because Executor targets the wrong guys, the AI isn't as good. The AI has AI moments, but what ends up happening is you end up having to refresh quite a bit or wait for that 10-minute timer to go away, and that's a really frustrating thing in the fleet shards. And I'm not just here to complain about it, folks. I actually think that I have kind of a solution to this, and I think maybe people would be frustrated with it. I don't know. I would be interested to hear what you think in the comments, but I actually think that it might be wise to just get ship mods on our ships. I think we don't necessarily need 6 slots and a ton of really crazy complexity, but right now it's kind of just the most miserable thing. We get a new relic level, and instead of thinking ooh, we're going to put it on the characters that it makes more sense, I'm going to put it on Galactic Legends, I'm going to put it on my off-meta counter characters that still work, like Jedi Knight Luke, General Skywalker, etc. No, the answer is I'm going to put Relic 9 on all my pilots, because right now, the next Relic 8 that I have is, it's probably going to be Maul, because we'll unlock him in a, month or two, whatever. But after that, once we get Relic 9 and everything might change. But Relic 8, my next target is going to be Beskar, Beskar Mando, and Bossk. Bossk will be number 1, actually, after that, because not because I think he's just this transcendent amazing tank, it's because I need his ship to be good. And similarly, Bam is really good. Beskar Mando is great. But I don't care about Relic 8 on him. Relic 7's enough for what I do with him right now. Relic 8 because of his ship. And I don't know. I hope we don't have to do it to Cad Bane, etc. And Relic 9 is gonna just unleash the same madness for us. And it's all because that speed is all just the exact same, and whoever has the most maxed out pilots is gonna benefit. So my suggestion is we could get like 3 mods per ship or something, and we'd all be able to start on the same playing field, so we'd have the same opportunity to farm things. Obviously it might not be the best, but I mean, you know, I don't know what currency we would use for it. There's lots of logistical problems, but I've always thought that ship mods would be great, not because mods are fun. I don't really like modding. Zero fun, sir, but I do think that mods in general on ships would make things better. I think the reason this game is going right now is because of mods, actually. Frankly, I do think that mods are what makes Arena and everything manageable. It's cool. You can customize your characters. You can actually, it adds that depth of complexity that high-end players, like really skilled oriented players, really want. And the people who don't want them can watch videos about how to apply them and stuff. People who don't care, who are more casual, can kind of just ignore them and go about their merry way. That's fine. But that added depth of complexity is great. And so I don't necessarily enjoy modding, but I really enjoy being able to customize my teams in a way that makes it interesting. Like, you guys are sad, I'm sad, everyone's sad about the death of the off meta to some degree. And the only way that was even possible in the first place is because of mods. Without mods, being able to customize your characters to have specific stat strengths is what, that's the only way we could actually have beat some of these teams. Some of them, it's like the Supreme Leader Kylo counter using, General Skywalker and Fives and Chewie and stuff. That's gone now, but it was only possible previously because you could mod your characters in such a way that Fives was able to take the guard and be able to manipulate his health and protection, and General Skywalker's health and protection, and be able to get so much defense on him that he doesn't die, etc. And so I guess all I'm saying is mods are what make this game really great, in my opinion, at least on a competitive level. That's why I love the game, is baseline, it's mods. Modding is great. And ships are so boring because they all are the same speed. Like CG, I don't know if it's a mess up, if it's intentional, whatever, but they made Anakin's ship the same speed as Negotiator, and I forget which other ship, is it Ahsoka? Like, they're all the same speed, and so you have like a million different options of what happens when you go into a mirror there, and people have been able to map it out eventually and get it to, get it fairly consistent, that counter and stuff. But so far, no one's had any luck with Executor. Maybe that will change over time, but all I know is I'm going to put Relic 9 on Admiral Piet the first thing I can. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So we have that going on, and then probably Relic 9 on Bossk, and it'll be a while till I finally get to Relic 9 on my Galactic Legends, because ships are so important to the game competitively, and I don't want the headache in a fleet arena of just like sitting there staring at people who are faster than me and only being able to beat them about half the time, which means if I have to hit 5 different teams, I have to do it 10 times on average. Sometimes with bad RNG, it's like 15 to 20 times. No, thank you. I don't need that stress in my life, and I would love that. I mean, we have other short-term problems, of course. I think Conquest will be fixed, whether it's going to be in a couple weeks or in like a couple days, I should say, or in a couple weeks or whatever. After a bunch of people quit and we're all sad and we're to the point of breaking as a community. But I think that'll be fixed, and then we'll just be left with the tears of frustration that ships are providing for us. So hopefully we get mods we can customize our ship speed and stuff based off of other factors. And I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Maybe it's just going to ruin things. Maybe you guys hate mods to the point that it would make it too miserable and you'd quit for that. I would actually just be very curious. I really like the idea of being able to use mods on ships. I've liked it for a while, but I don't know. Maybe I'm the minority opinion. Just want to know. That being said, folks, I'm going to sign off here. So thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails, even if it leads sometimes.